Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The first doses of the coronavirus vaccine make their way into Illinois. A state line doctor times out the local distribution process. The food service and hospitality industries have been hit hard by the pandemic. A new relief fund aims to make life a little easier as they wait to return to work. Plus, state line post offices are slammed as people ship out their gifts in time for Christmas. Postal employees prepare to meet shipping deadlines. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy. Eric is off tonight. Healthcare workers across the country rolled up their sleeves and took the first doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine over the weekend. Alexis Carpello has details on the shot's rollout here in the state line.
The first doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine are making their way into every corner of the country, including Rockford. Roughly 1,600 doses of the vaccine will be given to each health system in the Forest City. I checked in with Mercy Health's chief medical officer to learn who will get the shots first.
We want to vaccinate kind of the frontline workers, those who are determined to be wearing N95 masks because of their interactions with patients, those in the emergency department, those individuals who may come into contact with patients who are not certain of their COVID status, staff that's taking care of COVID patients. So we're trying to prioritize that particular group of individuals.
Health officials are expecting ongoing shipments of the Pfizer vaccine and are optimistic all healthcare workers that want the vaccine will be able to get it. Coming up at 6 on Eyewitness News, Dr. Dorsey talks more about how the vaccine will be stored once it arrives to the hospital. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Alexis Carpello.
A dark milestone is reached as the country reports 300,000 COVID-related deaths since the start of the pandemic. 103 of those patients died in Illinois over the last 24 hours, including a Boone County man in his 80s. The state death toll now stands at over 14,300. Health officials report over 7,000 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, pushing the state case total to well over 856,000. The statewide positivity rate is currently 8.7%. A new relief fund will assist restaurant and hospitality workers in Winnebago County. Northwestern Illinois YWCA teamed up with Give Lively to raise money for local restaurant employees. Donors can choose to make a one-time or monthly gift for out-of-work servers impacted by the pandemic. Abrio owner Paul Sletton says the fund is important in meeting service industry needs in the future.
We hope that between what we're doing locally and hopefully what Congress and the government does, that can bridge the gap until that period of time, so that they haven't all left and got jobs in other sectors. We really want them to be ready and charged up when we get back open.
Find links to donate on our website, mystateline.com. We're still waiting to learn the name of the man killed in a double shooting over the weekend. Rockford's 29th murder of 2020 happened on Berkeley Street near West 8 and Central around 4 a.m. Sunday. Officers found two victims. A 27-year-old man shot multiple times. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died. A 28-year-old man was also shot. He was treated and released from the hospital. If you have any information, call Rockford Police or Crime Stoppers. Beloit police talk a man into surrendering after he allegedly fired a gun into the air. This all started with a hit-and-run accident on Cleora Drive near Burton Street and Highway 213. Police say Derek Coleman walked to his home and told a woman about the crash. When she called police, the 21-year-old reportedly got angry and shot a handgun into the air. Responding officers convinced him to surrender without incident. Coleman faces several charges, including disorderly conduct while armed and operating while intoxicated. A Rockford nonprofit that works with kids in the city reveals how it will spend an anonymous $20,000 donation. Rockhouse Kids says it will buy a 15-passenger van. The organization already has two vans they're used to pick up kids. But Executive Director Deanna Lackney says adding a third vehicle to the fleet will provide access to even more children in the Forest City.
They need a place of stability. Now that we're going to have this extra, it's not an extra van, this next van, we will be able to reach more kids that can't get here. We just need to start looking for van drivers now.
Organizers hope to have the newest van ready to roll next month. Christmas is just 11 days away, and the clock is ticking to ensure packages arrive at their destination on time. With shipping deadlines quickly approaching, state-line post offices and shipping stores are bustling. Michelle Rave joins us live from one location. Michelle, how busy is it tonight?
Hi, Mimi. Yes, it's been very busy out here. I'm at the postal shop here on North Alpine, and people have been coming in and out of here. I spoke with one of the shop owners who tells me this year by far has been one of the busiest years they've ever seen. It's been a busy day across the state line as people drop packages into the mail, all in time for Christmas. Sue Lewis is making sure her customer gets their package on time.
I needed to mail a package for my client, and tomorrow is the last day that you can still mail, but tomorrow they can still get it for Christmas. So
this isn't the only trip Lewis is planning to make.
Well, I'm going to come tomorrow because I have my great-great-granddaughter. I bought a great big walking doll, so I've got other stuff for her, and I want to send a package too, plus money, you know, but this is her first Christmas, so it's going to be exciting.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Patty Hinkle is one of the owners of the postal shop on North Alpine. She says overall it's been a busy year.
It's always busy. 10 days out from Christmas, it's always the busiest time. But COVID doesn't help in the sense that it makes the amount of packages that are in the system where people are ordering things, and more so than ever before.
These are all the shipping deadlines for USPS to make sure packages arrive by December 25th.
Today is projected to be the busiest Monday of the whole year. Tomorrow will be the busiest Tuesday of the whole year. And so while last Monday we surpassed the projections of this Monday, so I'm not quite sure what this Monday is going to look like, but it hasn't disappointed so far.
Hinkle advises people to be patient and to not wait any longer to get packages sent, saying the sooner the better.
Christmas isn't until next Friday, so you have through Christmas Eve. However, you know, you need those buffer days because the carriers are trying, but there are so many boxes to deliver that they're only human. They can only do so much in a day.
Now, for those who still need to send any packages, you still have time to do so. The time here has been extended till 7 p.m., so you still have time to mail in those packages. For now, reporting live in Rockford for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave. Mimi, back to you.
Hard to believe Christmas is next week already. All right, thanks, Michelle. March is International Women's Month, and Eyewitness News wants to recognize the contributions of women here in the state line. These women inspire, lead, and enhance the quality of life for their community. We need your help finding these remarkable women. Just head to our website, mystateline.com, then go to the Community tab to find the nomination form. We'll select 4 of the nominees. One has the chance to win the Next Star 2021 Woman of the Year Award. Nominations can be submitted through December 20th. The Electoral College formally cast ballots for Joe Biden to become the next president of the United States. After the break, President Trump says he'll continue to challenge those results. Plus, with the rollout of the coronavirus vaccine, the government's warning of pandemic-related scams. We'll tell you what you need to watch for tonight on Eyewitness News at 6.
Temperatures today were on the chilly side. Highs this afternoon struggled to even make it out of the 20s. Find out how long the chill sticks around coming up in your First Warn forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
The fight for the 68th District Representative seat continues. Democratic Representative-elect Dave Vella was declared the winner last month, but Representative John Cabello announced plans for a recount last night. The Republican says the recount is well within the required margin of under 0.05% or less. Vella won by just 239 votes. That means 25% of the precincts within the district will be reviewed. That will determine if a full recount's needed. Cabello has held the seat since 2012. Vela is scheduled to be sworn in January 13th. Members of the Electoral College gather in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. to cast their votes for president and vice president. Illinois' 20 votes and 10 from Wisconsin, both going to President-elect Joe Biden. It's another step closer to an official victory for Biden. But as Ray Bogan reports, President Donald Trump still refuses to concede, and his allies are criticizing the process.
Joe Biden's 2020 presidential victory is all but final as the Electoral College cast ballots, giving the Biden-Harris team the electoral votes they need to win the White House.
Is very important. It really is. It's not just out of tradition, but to show folks, especially now more than ever, our system works.
Electors also cast ballots for Biden in states where President Trump challenged the results in court, like Georgia.
I am so honored to be with this group today as we officially cast Georgia's 16 Electoral College votes for President-elect Joe Biden and my soror, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
And Arizona.
The people of Arizona selected Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris, and the electors will cast their votes accordingly by signing these certificates of vote today.
But President Trump says he's going to continue his election challenges. One of his top advisors says alternate electors will cast ballots for President Trump in key states.
The only date in the Constitution is January 20th. So we have more than enough time to right the wrong of this fraudulent election result and certify Donald Trump as the winner of the election.
But there are growing calls for the president to formally concede, including from inside his own party.
The peaceful transition of power that we formally take part in here today is a hallmark of our democracy.
That was Ray Bogan reporting. The last step is congressional certification January 6th. The House and Senate will meet in a joint session of Congress, and Vice President Mike Pence will preside.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
See King at WTVO.com. That's where you want to share your Christmas pictures. Christmas, of course, just a little over a week away. Have to say a big thank you to Bill and Becky Leber, otherwise known as Mom and Dad from Freeport, for sharing their picture, the Christmas tree in the living room, beautifully decorated. Thank you so much for that. Mike Gully sharing this picture too, says they use the bubble lights on their Christmas tree. It's been a family tradition for now over 50 years. So Bill, Becky, and Mike, thank you so much for sharing your Christmas photos. Again, see King at WTVO.com. Love to see those Christmas and holiday traditions. Things are pretty quiet for us, but it's been a rather blustery day. Despite the sunshine we had today, it did not do much to warm our temperatures. In fact, those numbers hard pressed this afternoon to make it out of the 20s, and a few spots already falling back into the teens. 17 now in Galena, 20 in Freeport, 25 in Rockford, and whatever little wind we have out there, it's pushed that wind chill factor this evening in the teens and in the single digits already in some spots. Now, the good news for us, the wind will turn light tonight. Our weather watcher Bob here in Rockford checking in 25, no rain or snow, and a dew point temperature of 14. But that dew point number gives you an idea of where that temperature is going to fall for tonight. And over the areas that have that snow on the ground, those numbers will be colder by tomorrow morning. And they were colder this afternoon because the snow actually reflects that sun's light back out to space. So temperatures were about 5, 6, 7 degrees colder than temperatures where we had more of a bare ground. So low 20s were found this afternoon off to our west. Now, there has been an increase in cloud cover over the last couple of hours, and we'll continue to see those clouds build back in. We are going to stay dry from that, but what that's going to do for us tomorrow is filter out more of that sunshine. So again, we'll stay right around 30 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. Won't be quite as windy. Area of low pressure building over the southwest. This is going to stay to our south, but that's the reason why we've got the clouds increasing here this evening. So we see that cloud cover come in. Now, normally that would keep our temperatures up, but with high pressure building in and kind of the thin nature of some of that cloud cover, it'll keep our temperatures in the teens teens tonight, so another cold start tomorrow morning. We build up that cloud cover for the afternoon. Not going to completely rule out a flurry or two overnight Tuesday, then into Wednesday, just because that system will kind of be on the northern fringe of that, but anything accumulating is going to stay well to our south. So let's look at some of our hometown numbers here for tomorrow. Down to 14 in Freeport, 17 tomorrow morning in Dixon, 16 degrees in Ashland, 15 your temperature when you wake up tomorrow morning in Byron. Numbers will stay in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees as we build in more of that cloud cover with the clouds tomorrow evening. That'll keep that temperature in the low 20s. So 16 for us here in Rockford. We'll call it a mostly cloudy sky, filtered sunshine for tomorrow. Temperature up near 30 degrees for the afternoon. We get a little more active pattern into early next week. In fact, a jet stream kind of developed some pretty strong winds overhead. That could keep a couple of clipper systems rolling in here for the week of Christmas. We've got one system we're watching, Mimi, for the weekend. This doesn't look too significant. Quick hitter with some rain, snow Friday into Saturday. But with those clippers, we might have an opportunity, maybe, depending on the track, to get some snowfall in just a little bit before Christmas.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Well, the Bears are feeling revived after shedding their 6-game losing streak. Perhaps a light bulb has gone on for Mitch Trubisky, or more importantly, perhaps a light bulb has gone on for Matt Nagy and the coaching staff. It is sad it's taken them almost 4 seasons to figure this out, but Trubisky is most effective when he's rolling out of the pocket and passing. That's what he did the majority of the time yesterday. By rolling out, he takes advantage of his biggest asset, his athleticism. Plus, he's able to lock in on one receiver on that side of the field he's rolling to. And usually, it's going to be a short pass, and that greatly increases his accuracy. And Trubisky isn't as likely to be throwing into double or triple coverage. Will the coaches keep rolling Trubisky out of the pocket with the same frequency that they did yesterday? I don't know. I mean, this is the same coaching staff that refuses to give the football to David Montgomery even after he rips off an 80-yard touchdown run. The Fighting Illini are going back to the drawing board with their football program now that Lovie Smith has been fired. Was it the right move by Josh Whitman? Well, sure it was. In 5 years, Lovie failed to move the needle with this program. He's a better fit in the NFL. The guy I'd like to see take over the Fighting Illini is current Cincinnati head coach Luke Fickell. He's a fiery guy with a lot more personality than Lovie has. He knows the Big Ten inside and out, having played and coached at Ohio State. At one point, he was the interim head coach at Ohio State, so no program is too big for him. And he's done a heck of a job now at Cincinnati. He'd be great in Champaign, but I have a feeling Fickell might be waiting on a job at a program that has a track record of winning, which Illinois unfortunately doesn't have.
Our first WARN Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got a little more cloud cover building in, but our skies will stay dry as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures, though, those numbers will be down in the teens to kick off our Tuesday. A little more cloud cover for the afternoon. Not going to completely rule out a flurry or two Tuesday into Wednesday. Temperatures gradually warming by Friday.
Kind of missed last week's 50s. Thanks, Candice. We'll see you at 6.